Hello guys, welcome back to more Addicted on the Force Nines YouTube channel. Gonna have a look back at our first season in charge of Charlton Athletic today on Football Manager 2015. As you can see the date now, oh, I was really high pitched then. Date is July 2015. I've gone so far ahead because I was just worried because we weren't getting any money in. And there's a good reason for that. We overspent quite a bit last season, wage-wise. We were about 10 grand a week overspent. And we also did not have any transfer budget, and the only reason we have 280,000 is because we had to adjust our other budgets. Basically, between the end of last season and the start of pre-season, Charlton went through a takeover. So if we have a look at the board now, can we have a look at actually the owners' finances? So looking at our finances, last season we lost about we had made a loss of 4 million. And looking at the stars, they've got a new chairman here, and they've got new directors of football. And our job was under threat because we had new owners, because they had new owners. But they've decided, they're going to keep faith with us. We did get Charlton to the playoffs, so yeah, they're nice. So we did really well with the club, and so we do get to stay on. And our contract is still going. If we look at our contract, so we got an extension to the end to the next season. Hopefully, we can get another year onto that soon. And hopefully, we can actually win promotion. That is what I've said that I want to do. If we just have a look at our confidence, Skybet Championship, minimum expectations of the team win promotion, but the only issue is that we can't buy or sell players because we just don't have enough money to do so. I do need to buy some players though, because the two players that we had on loan, Yoni Bruins and Frederick Bühler, are no longer with the club because they left because they were only on loan. And I did try to get them back for this season on loan, and Liège accepted the offers, but the two players didn't want to come, and I don't know why that is. So we've got to make do with the squad that we have, and hopefully we get some money for January. We have 280,000, with which we could maybe buy a player, but yeah, it's going to be difficult for sure. So what are we going to do? So we're going to look at the season first of all, and have a look at our fixtures last season. So we're not going to worry about pre-seasons. Let's first of all look at the championship. So we finished in third place overall, which was really, really good, considering the season before we finished 18th. So the first four championship games we went unbeaten for 4, but then we lost to Brighton, and then a home defeat to Wolves, defeat to Middlesbrough, and then Norwich. 5-2 defeat to Bournemouth was infuriating. Derby defeat at home to Millwall, home defeat to Cardiff. So a lot of games that we maybe lost, that maybe we could have won or at least got a point, and that could have seen us through. We could have got automatic promotion on the last day of the season. But if we have a look down here, we lost at home to Brighton to Bournemouth on the last day of the championship, which means that we missed out on automatic promotion. If we'd have won that, we would have been promoted no matter what. And then we had to contest the playoffs. And, well, let's have a look at what happened in the playoffs. So, Watford were our semi-final opponents. And the other two teams were Norwich and Huddersfield. So having a look at Watford. So this was the first leg. This was not aggregate. This was the first leg. 6-4. We went 2-0 up in the first half. Bühler and Barrow scoring. And then Watford pulled one back through Forestieri. And the second half, they just blew us out of the water. Forestieri got their... Igalo scored. And then Forestieri. And then Igalo. And then... what was that? I think they got up to 4-2. And then we made it 4-3, then they made it 5-3, then we made it 5-4, and then Forestieri completed his hat-trick and made it 6-4. We started off 2-0 up. We were in the driving seat to get to the playoff final, and we threw it away in the second half. And then the second leg was at home. We drew 1-1. again, it was Bula who started off the scoring, and then it was Igalo. And I made a mistake with this game in that I didn't really look at my bench properly, so we had a few issues there. So yeah, I'm gutted to have missed out on the playoffs like that. So if we have a look at what happened in the final, Watford won promotion. So we did lose to the eventual winners. They beat Huddersfield in the final 2-0. So Watford made it to the Premier League. So let's have a look at our other cups now. Capital One Cup, we got as far as we were expected to get, but we lost in a derby to Crystal Palace on the in the second round. And then the FA Cup, we weren't expected to get past the third round, and we didn't, and we lost 3-0 at home to a fellow London club, Chelsea. I would have liked to have done better in those cups, but being a championship team and getting the draws that we got, wasn't expecting a miracle. So having a look at the table, as I said, we finished, stages. We finished in third place. 2 points behind second place Middlesbrough, and 5 behind the championship winners Leeds. So as I said, if we'd have won that game against Bournemouth, we would have been through. We would have been on 89 points, and we would have been automatically promoted. But it did not happen. So now, let's have a look at what's going to happen this coming season. So, pre-season friendlies, we've got Northampton, Welling, Shamrock Rovers, Standard Liège, Sunderland and Alcaçon. And then we start off our championship campaign with a home tie against Cardiff. League Cup first round, we've got Newport. That's going to be an away tie. So we'll see where we get after that. So we've got some big games. So where's our biggest games? Actually, let's just see who actually got relegated from the Premier League first of all. If we just go up to here. So what happened last season? So Man City won the title by 6 points. Liverpool came second. 77 points. Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. So you would expect the top 6 to be something like that, wouldn't you? That's what you expect the top 6 to be. But just maybe in a different order. Hull, Burnley and West Brom are coming down. Crystal Palace avoided relegation. So that would have been a good thing if they'd have come back in the and we could have had some derbies with Palace, but I know. So Hull, Burnley and West Brom are the teams that have come down. So who's coming up from League One? Peterborough and Barnsley and Bradford. So that's interesting. Bradford are going to be in the Championship. Peterborough and Barnsley. Crawley, Crewe, Chesterfield and Gillingham are coming up. Who actually got relegated from the Championship? I never even looked at that. Rotherham was one of them. Blackpool and Birmingham. That was it. And then in League 2, we got Portsmouth, Tranmere, Bury and Shrewsbury coming up. Hartlepool and Cheltenham down. And then just a quick look at who's coming up from the conference. Grimsby and Bristol Rovers. So there you go. So interesting stuff there. So having a look at our fixtures, that's what we're going to do. So we start off against Cardiff. We've got Barnsley soon, who came up from the bottom league. So Millwall will face them in November. West Brom have come down. We're facing them. Peterborough are facing October. When's our other game against Millwall? April the 2nd. So that'll probably be our cursor froze for a second there. So that'll probably be our penultimate fixture, and we end against Derby. That's going to be tough. Derby County did pretty well last season, I think. So yeah, that's going to be a good championship season, I think. Nothing else to look at, I don't think. So yeah, transfers. So let's have a look at this. So all these guys have all been released on free transfers because they just weren't good enough. So it's left us kind of in a bit of a situation with our youth teams in that we don't have a lot, as you can see. So I'm hoping we get a good youth intake. Our intake this year wasn't too bad, actually. We actually had quite a good bunch of youth players, some 3-star players. So I really don't think they're that bad. It's just like I don't know what the deal is with players like this. If we can actually play them or not, I'm not sure. I think it just adds players if you haven't got enough. So that's that. Yeah, so we need to look at our squad now, don't we? Now, of course, there's 2 players in here that aren't here that played last season. And there's also players that were on loan last season. So let's just go through this all. Let's just go through this all then. So Stephen Henson is our first choice goalkeeper, and looking at his history this year, he played every game, I believe. Can't couple of cup games. So I think he might have played every single game. His average rate was 6.82, so he didn't do too badly. He conceded a fair few goals, 76 goals. So yeah, no, he's not too bad. And we've got a backup keeper on loan, Guillaume Hubert, Belgian. He's on loan from Standard. We got him on loan at the end of in January last season, but we didn't actually play because he was just a backup. And we're doing the same again this season. Hopefully, he might actually start some cup games and stuff. And if Henderson does hit poor form, then Hubert will be there for cover. He's got a 2-star current ability, but he's got good potential, and age 21. If we get him some game time, that will be good. Dylan Phillips is a goalkeeper. I think he went on loan last season. No, he must be one of our under 21 keepers or something. So on to fullbacks now. So Malik Vermael was one of our signings last season. We signed him from Man United for $250,000. He made 20 appearances. He was sort of a rotation option really with Solly, but Solly was playing. Solly was really, really good last season. So Vermael, he got about half the games, so that's all right. And some of those were off the bench as well, because Solly did have some poor performances. He didn't get any goals, but he did set one goal up. Got a 6.82 rating, so fairly solid for a right back. Pleased with how he's gone. Carlo Bartek we signed last season, and we loaned him back to Lokomotiv, where he got a few goals. And he got an assist and a couple of player match appearances, but he did have some poor performances as well. Hence, his rating was a bit below average. As for Chris Solly, he's attracted some interest from Premier League teams, and so he has. Let's go to his information if we can. So he's okay now, but he was asking why I didn't accept an offer because he wanted Premier League football because he thought he could. He thought he was at that potential now, and his training has gone down a bit, which is a bit worrying. But he got a 6.9 rating last season. He scored one goal, which was a fluky goal, but it was a goal nonetheless. And set up 3. So he started 38 games, and then Vermael started the other ones. So he's been good. He's going to be our first choice right back. Now we have another one here, Aaron Barnes. So we have 4 right backs. So some of these will have to go. Aaron Barnes was on loan last season at Ebbsfleet. Played 23 games, he got a goal, he got an assist, and he averaged 7.0, which isn't too bad. He's got good potential as well, so I think he's probably going to be playing in our under-21s more often than not, unless someone comes into loan for him. So I'm going to move him to the under-21 squad, and then if we do maybe get into a bit of trouble with the first team, we can always call him up. We have another right back, Luke Nego, who is actually under a transfer bid from a couple of clubs, Ipswich and Reading, both in the market for him. So I think he'll be going in the not too distant future. He didn't play for us this past season. On to our 2 left backs now. Royce Wiggins, Welsh player. He's 27. He had a pretty good season last time and actually had some fantastic ratings. He got a couple of goals and a couple of assists and was the man of the match on a couple of occasions. Started 25 games and rated over 7, which is good. Our other left back, Morgan Fox, is only 21. He started a few games. He played 20 games. Got 4 assists. Got a player of the match and rated 6.89. So he's a good backup. Tarek Holmes Dennis was on loan last season at Accrington Stanley. Played 30 games. Didn't do too well. So he'll probably be loaned out again this season. He is listed for loan, so that's all right. Michael Morrison, centre back. Wasn't going to keep him, to be honest, but he's actually done really well in the times that I've called him up. He's got 3 goals. They came at the start of the season. I think he scored in his first 2 league appearances actually in the season. Rated 6.79. Did have some defensive errors and conceded a couple of penalties, but I'm happy with how he's done. Actually, he's done okay. Andre BK didn't play a lot really last time. Well, he played 24 games, which seems like a lot, but he was on the bench quite a lot. I think a lot of those were from the bench. 9. So we played 9 games from the bench. Got a 6.95, got 1 goal and 1 assist. So he's a fairly solid player, and I'm going to keep him this season because we don't have Booyans anymore. Onyewu, we signed him on a free transfer this season at age 33. And he played 26 games. He got an assist. He's a fairly solid defender. He's not a bit on the old side, but we do need a bit of experience in our defensive line. Harry Lennon was on loan last season at Cambridge, played 30 games, got a 6.6 rating, so neither here nor there really. Now, Joe Gomez is going to be a real star in the future. He's only 18 years old, and his stats, his stats are going up. His stamina and strength are going up. He's not a very fit player. His natural fitness is only 8, so he can only play like every other game, really. But having a look at his ability, he could be one of our best players if we can keep him. And this past season, he's actually got a goal. Age 17, he got a goal. Made 23 appearances, and his rating was not too bad. So I'm pleased with his development. Right, we're going on to the midfield now. So let's start with Jordan Cousins. Again, he's a young player. He's only 21 years old, but he has had a real good season. He's got a few appearances for the under-21s. 6.98 rating. He scored 5. He set up 5. Got a couple of man of the match appearances. He played 43 games, which is pretty good. And 7 of those were from the bench. So he played most of our games. And I'm pleased with how he's done. He's been really good. Demi Dizou was a free transfer. We didn't play him as much as I would have liked, just because our other players were doing much better. He played 27 though. So again, I think everyone got their fair share of appearances. He set up 3 goals, didn't score any, but got a 6.8 run rating, so I'm pleased with that. That's good. Our captain Johnny Jackson had an injury hit season, but still managed 20 games. 4 of those were from the bench. He scored 5 goals. I think most of those were penalties. Set up 2. But yeah, as I said, injuries hit his season. He was out for 4 months with I think it was a torn calf or a torn hamstring. So he missed a few games. Chuli was one of our new signings and probably our best signing. We signed him from Real Betis, and the fee went up to 1.1 million because he started as many games as he did. He only played 21 though, because again he had an injury hit season. But if that hadn't happened, he would have been one of our top scorers, if not the top scorer, which was Vetakele, our top scorer. He got over 20. But I'm pleased with how he did. 17. Well, he started 18 games overall, 6 from the bench, and if he's injury free this season, he will be one of our best players. Harriet, he went on loan for some time, for about half the season, to Portsmouth and played 16 games, got a couple of goals, came back to us. He played 12 games overall, got a goal, got 3 assists, so I'm pleased with how he's done. Johan Berg Gudmundsson, I think he was one of our best players this season. Played 37 games, got 4 goals, got 13 assists. That's a lot of assists. I want to see how that ranks with everyone else actually. Rated over 7, so he's been very good this season. I'm pleased with how he's done. Now, Andy Halliday actually scored a goal yesterday in real life against Chelsea in a day full of shocks in the FA Cup. He got the 3rd of 4 goals at Stamford Bridge. I think this is the same one, is it? I'm not sure. It might be a different Andy Halliday. I don't know. He's Scottish, so I think this is the same one. He didn't play a lot of games. I signed him from Middlesbrough. It was in the end because he was on loan the previous season. He only played 11 games and he didn't get any goals or anything. He didn't play well in the games that he did play in. 5 of those were starts and 6 were from the bench in the league. So hopefully I'll play him a bit more this season, but he didn't do too good, to be honest, and he wasn't one of the best signings I've made in my Football Manager career. Frank Musa, he's an attacking midfielder, didn't get any goals, but he got 4 assists, played 41 games, fairly solid player. I'd like him to get some goals this season though. If not, then he might have to go. Okay, next player, Simon Church, 26 years old. He didn't do good. He had some very poor games. He only got 4 goals in 28, which isn't too good, to be honest. If people do come into the market for him, then I'll sell him. But if not, hopefully he gets some goals. Otherwise, I'll be selling him in January. What do we actually rank these by? I'm not quite sure. We're going to go through them all anyway. Vetakele is unhappy because, Burnley made an offer for him and he wants to play Premier League football. But Burnley got relegated. So there's no different really. Vetakele was our best player this past season. 7.06. He got 21 league goals. I think he was 5th top scorer, something like that. 38 games played. So yeah, I'm pleased with how he's done. 21 goals. 30. How many goals in all appearances? 26 goals in all appearances. And 6 goals for Angola as well. So I'm pleased with how he's gone. As for Zach Answer, he was in our under-21s mainly, so he didn't play. Same with Pigger. he was on loan, I think. Yeah, he was on loan at Torquay. Didn't do too bad, actually. 7 goals in 19 appearances. A 6.93 rating, so that's good. This guy was on loan in Kuwait. Yeah, and he did. Well, he was on loan there for his second season. He had a bit of an improvement. He played an extra game and he got 1 more goal. This guy was on loan at wherever that is. That's a feeder club, I think. Did okay there, actually. Is he any good? Not really. George Tukadine. He got 10 goals in the league. In 24, which isn't too bad. He had some injuries at the end of the season and missed the last few games through injury. But if he can stay fit, then he'll be fine. He'll be a good addition. And then finally, Mado Barrow, a January signing from Swansea, signed for £500,000. He got 4 goals in 21 appearances. He's actually our highest earner. He's on £9,000 a week before tax. Which is, yeah, he is our highest earner. He earns more than our captain. So if we just have a look at our squad and look at everyone's earnings. So yeah, Barrow is on that. Munster's on £8,000. So I think some of these wages are kind of high, and that's why our wage budget was blown out. So I think some of these guys need to either go or start taking pay cuts, because some of these guys are out of contracts. If we have a look at the expiry dates. So Morrison, BK, Dezou, Onyewu. So a lot of these guys, all the guys all the way down to Hubert, their contracts expire in the next year. So unless they take some pay cuts, then they're going to have to go. So that's that. As for next season, we don't have a lot of money, but what do we actually need? Okay, so let's have a look. So goalkeeper, I think we're fine. We're okay with that. We've got loads of right backs. We're fine with that. Some of those will have to go though, because there's just too much competition there. Left backs, I think we're okay. Morgan Fox is only 2-star currently, but he can be good in the future. As for centre backs, I think we're fine. Maybe one young one, maybe, because Onyewu and BK kind of on the old side. So hopefully we can get one more, maybe sort of 20, 21 year old. I think we do need a defensive midfielder if we need anything, because we do not have Booyans anymore. That's one thing I didn't look at, actually. Let's find Booyans. Yoni Booyans, here he is. So, how did he do last season? Let's see. 6.9, scored 9 goals. He was our second penalty taker behind Jackson, and he took penalties when Jackson was injured. That's what a lot of those were, I think. But, he did very well for us as a defensive midfielder. He got a couple of Man of the Match awards as well, so that's good. And then our other loan player was Frederic Boulot. And he, I'm not even saying it, he was our best player. Vetkele was our top scorer, but Frederic Boulot was our best player. 13 goals, 11 assists, 7 Man of the Match awards in 32 games. And he rated 7.26. And I'm just absolutely gutted that he's not staying with us again for a season, because we can't break our transfer record for him, because we just don't have the money, and he won't go on loan. So that is one that got away, as far as I'm concerned. So as I said, yeah, this coming season we do need a defensive midfielder, and I probably say let's just go with a potential defensive midfielder, and well, I'd say we might need another striker. We've got Vetkele, Barrow and Tukadine, but I think we do need another striker if we need anything else. That's going to do it, I think. I'm going to play the pre-season, and then on Tuesday we're going to kick off our championship campaign with that game against Cardiff. So I hope you join me then. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed Addicted. It's going to keep going. I thought I'd end it this past week because I thought we were going to get promoted, and we didn't. So that means we've got to sit through another season of this. Not a bad thing, because I've enjoyed it, but it's always nice to try and get onto a new save as soon as possible. I know what my next save is going to be after this as well, and I'm excited. And I hope no one else beats me to it and does the same thing, because I don't think it's been done on YouTube. I haven't seen it, so we'll have to see. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.